On a cold, stormy night, James walked alone on the ancient stone path leading through the dark forest. The weak, yellow streetlights flickered, casting his long shadow on the wet road. The rain splashed on his face, mixed with the howling wind, making everything heavy and gloomy. He stopped by a rusty lamp-post, reaching out to touch the old copper key hanging around his neck, something he had promised someone he would use to open a certain door on a suitable day. But James couldn't remember who he had promised it to, only that the promise always made his heart heavy. While he was lost in thought, a childish laughter echoed from afar, a sound lost in the deserted road in the thick, rainy night. James turned his head involuntarily. Under the broken tree, in the white mist, a wet little girl stood still, her face pale and her deep black eyes seemingly bottomless. A chill ran down James' spine, and he leaned back against the moss-covered stone wall. Lightning flashed, exposing the entire scene: the damp forest, the thick fog, the small silhouette of the girl standing motionless as if imprisoned in time. The girl raised her hand, pointing at the key around his neck. "Do you remember our promise?" Her voice was small, but distant, as if it did not belong to this world. James choked. What do you want from me?" The girl lowered her head. "You promised to open that door." The next lightning bolt tore through the sky, illuminating the tall stone wall in the distance. On the wall was an ancient wooden door, rotten but unbreakable, as if it had stood there for hundreds of years. James walked slowly on the slippery stone floor, the rain splashing heavily on each step. The girl stood far away, in the rain, just silently watching, not coming closer, not leaving. As she approached the door, the key around James' neck began to shake. The wind suddenly swirled around him. The mist seemed to gather into a vortex, leading him to the end of the promise. He placed the key in the lock that was deeply embedded in the rotten wood. The metal clanged slow and heavy, as if dragging along the memories of someone forgotten. The lock swung open. A white light poured out, penetrating the thick mist, illuminating the ancient wall. The girl stepped closer, the light reflecting off her small face, making it look strangely warm, a warmth only the living could have. "Thank you," she said, her voice trembling with emotion, "for keeping your word." She stepped into the light. Her small body slowly dissolved into sparkling mist, rising high and merging into the rain-soaked treetops. In that moment, James understood that the little girl was not of this world, and the promise he had forgotten was the promise he had made to the spirit of a child who had waited for him for many years. The door slowly closed, the light disappeared. There was only the sound of wind whistling through the dark trees and the sound of rain hitting the road. James knelt down, tears mixing with the rain. The key he had kept for so long, the only thing that connected him to the girl's soul, suddenly crumbled into dust, falling onto the cold stone road. He realized, sometimes seemingly forgotten promises are the only thing that can help a soul find peace in the rainy night. And he, the Keykeeper, finally returned the light to a heart left in the darkness.